The black mayor of a small Alabama town will finally be able to lead his community after being physically blocked from taking office by his white predecessors, pending final approval from a federal judge on a settlement agreement. Patrick Braxton, the first black mayor of New Bern, Alabama, filed a lawsuit alleging that the outgoing white mayor and his all-white town council changed the locks to the town hall, destroyed or removed town documents, and denied Braxton access to the town's mailbox and bank account. Now, under a settlement agreement reached by both parties in the case, the outgoing mayor Haywood Stokes and his council members must immediately grant Braxton access to all official documents, accounts, and town property needed to perform his job. The settlement declares Braxton as the lawful mayor of New Bern and grants him all powers, duties, privileges, and all other rights enjoyed by prior mayors and entrusted to the mayor of New Bern under Alabama state law. Also declares that the previous white town leaders' actions violated both the U.S. Constitution and federal law and must pay $40,000 in attorney's fees for this lawsuit. A federal judge must sign off on the agreement for it to officially take effect. If you missed our previous video on this case, here's how this lawsuit even got to this point. New Bern, a small majority black town in Alabama with a population of around 130 residents, has not held a mayoral election since the Voting Rights Act was passed in 1965. Instead, each outgoing mayor for the past almost 60 years would appoint the next mayor, all of whom were white despite the fact that the town is 80% black. That continued until April 2020 when Patrick Braxton decided to run for mayor to create change for the town's black residents. After some back and forth with the outgoing mayor Haywood Stokes, Braxton was able to file for candidacy. Since no one else, including the sitting mayor, filed to run in the election, Braxton became mayor-elect under Alabama law in July 2020 and appointed his own town council. But before Braxton was going to be officially sworn in as mayor in November 2020, Stokes and his town council held an illegal, secret special election in October that no one else in the entire town knew about, resulting in that all-white group being reelected. Despite Braxton and his council members being sworn into office in November 2020, Stokes and his town council members physically prevented them from entering the town hall and accessing town documents, preventing them from taking power. Braxton and his 5 council members filed their lawsuit in November 2022, arguing that Stokes and his council members engaged in intentional racial discrimination by refusing to let black residents participate in local elections or hold office, violating the U.S. Constitution and the Voting Rights Act. Finally, after a year and a half of litigation, a settlement agreement was reached by both parties just last week that formally declares Braxton the lawful mayor of New Bern, pending the signature of the federal judge who's presiding over the case. The settlement holds that the white town leaders violated the 1st, 14th, and 15th Amendments of the U.S. Constitution, as well as Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. Despite signing off on a legal agreement declaring that their actions were illegal, the white town leaders said that they specifically deny having engaged in any wrongful practice or other unlawful conduct, but that they approved the settlement simply to avoid further protracted adversarial proceedings and to fully and finally end strife and disagreement. Going forward, the town of New Bern must submit any future changes related to voting and eligibility to vote in municipal elections to the federal district court or U.S. Attorney General for approval until January 1st, 2030. The next scheduled mayoral election will take place in 2025, where Braxton will be up for re-election. The parties agreed to hold a public hearing at the New Bern Town Hall by August 30th to provide residents with all of this new information. Thanks for watching Democracy Docket. If you want to stay up to date about the latest voting and election news in the courts, make sure to subscribe to our newsletters. You can click the link on the screen or in the description of this video. I'm Sophie, and I'll see you next time.